I can bet that at least once in your life you heard the phrase that the key to your success is knowing your why. But what does it actually mean? How does it work? How do you find it and how do you use it? My curious brain wasn't satisfied with the answer, it will keep you motivated, so I spent an unhealthy amount of time searching for scientific explanation and trying to understand the psychology and biology behind what people call my why. There are some great studies done in this area of neuroscience, and turns out that having a strong reason for doing something does indeed increases your chances of pursuing it. Hi, my name is Anna, and on this channel I try my best to support you on your life journey by making cognitive science and neuroscience more accessible to everyone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how our reasoning works, how to use your strong why, and some powerful tools to discover your personal authentic why. Let's start by acknowledging the fact that the most difficult part of goal achievement process is to actually do the work. Pretty much everyone have dreams, goals, and can plan how to achieve them. But showing up and actually doing the work that gets you closer to that goal, this requires a certain level of self-awareness as well as a lot of mental and physical efforts. And here is where understanding why you're doing something comes into play. It's one of the things that can help you with that self-awareness. There is a sufficient number of research done to say that the likelihood that the person will actually pursue the goal is influenced by that person's perception of why they're doing it. There was one very interesting study done on rats. Scientists found out that rats enjoy running in the wheel. For rats, running in the wheel is their reward and their goal. They first allowed 2 rats to run in 2 separate wheels, and they got pretty much similar results. Second time, they connected 2 wheels together in a way that the second rat was forced to run when the first rat ran. Surprisingly, the stress levels and blood pressure and overall physical condition of the rat that was forced to run was getting worse and was negatively impacting its health. Even though 2 rats were doing the same activity, running, the second rat's understanding of why it was doing it was detrimental to its results and performance. What we can take away from this study is that our perception of why we're doing something does influence the way we are performing. Okay, so now when we understand that having a strong, good reason is important, what are some psychological and biological processes? A strong why that a lot of people talk about needs to be very emotional. And I feel like a lot of people forget to mention that. This is the mistake that all of us do. And I was guilty of thinking that humans are rational for many, many years. Humans are everything but rational and logical. We act purely on our feelings and our emotions. So if your why doesn't trigger a strong emotional response, try to dig deeper. A strong motivation always comes from a strong emotion. Feelings and emotions act as anchors, and they are very connected to actions. Humans are future-oriented species, so we have feelings and emotions to help us make better decisions for the future. To simplify this concept, let's imagine you're a 4-year-old and you're told not to put your hand on a hot stove burner. That's cool, but you don't have any strong reasons not to do it. Now, compare it to a kid who burned their hand by doing so. That pain you experience, that fear, that shock, your brain is going to remember those emotions for a very, very long time. On top of that, your brain is going to connect those strong emotions to the action of putting your hand on a hot stove burner. Personally, have never seen a child who was severely burned touching hot objects with their bare hands ever again. So now when you're considering to touch a hot stove, this action will trigger those strong emotions in your brain, and those emotions will help you make a better decision for survival and not to touch it. How does that relate to goal setting? Well, humans are capable of mental time traveling, and we're able to experience potential emotions in the future. So when visualizing your dreams or your goals, look for emotions instead of physical or economical outcomes. When imagining your dream house, try to look for emotions. Try to focus on how it would feel to live in the house. What emotions would you experience? Is it happiness? Is it calmness, security? Now, we've just talked that all emotions are connected to actions. For our brain, the time doesn't matter. It does not influence that ability. Possible emotions in the future will trigger your problem solving, and you will come up with a bunch of possible steps to take to get you closer to that goal. And on top of that, emotions trigger dopamine release much more effectively than physical outcomes. Dopamine is responsible for pursuing rewards or goals. This is what puts you from the state of dreaming and planning to executing. Now, as we know how it works and what are requirements for that, how do you actually discover that true, authentic, strong why? I'm happy to introduce one of the most powerful tools that I personally tried for self-discovery, and here's our star 5 or 7 whys method. It was actually introduced by Japanese inventor Sekichi Toyoda in early 20th century. Sekichi actually used it for getting to the root causes of issues he had with cars in his company, which we now know as Toyota. The method is quite self-explanatory. You take your goal or your dream and you ask yourself, why is the dream important to me? Why do I want it? Once you got your answer, you ask this question again, but you address it to your previous answer. And you repeat this process until you hit that strong reason. This is an amazing exercise that will give a lot of clarity about who you are. Over time, people started debating how many times you should ask why. The most popular numbers are 5 and 7. I don't want you to focus on numbers. Instead, I want you to focus on being completely honest with yourself. It's you being honest with yourself, right? I want you to be prepared to discover something unexpected about yourself, and I want you to keep going until you actually hit that very strong emotional response. I would personally say don't do less than 3. It won't take you deep enough and you won't be as honest with yourself. And I also wouldn't go more than 7, because it will take you to very broad, very philosophical and existential questions. So 3 to 7 is a sweet spot, I would say. I want you to find out it's going to be very emotional. It's going to be, oh wow, I never thought about that, or oh wow, I didn't know that about myself. To give you an example and a bit more guidance, I'm gonna share my personal wise exercise that I did about a year ago for my health goals. So my goal was, I want my body to stay healthy and up to date, whatever that means. I want to eat healthy, exercise regularly, go outside and spend time with nature. I want my body to feel movable and tight-free. So that was my goal, my dream. Now we are going to ask, why is the goal important to me? Why does it matter? And my first answer was, I want to live a long and healthy life. Great. Now, why do you want to live a long and healthy life? My answer was, I want to be able to be here and to witness beautiful moments of my life. Great. Why does witnessing beautiful moments of your life is important? My answer was, because those moments create memories and memories make my life meaningful. Okay, great. Why is that important to you? At the end of my life, I don't want to regret that I didn't live to my fullest potential, or I didn't do enough of things that matter to me. Great. Why does that matter to you? Why is it important? I may never experience such a thing again. This might be my only chance ever to be on this planet, in this body, in this time, surrounded by those people. I will never have such opportunity ever again. I still remember to this day, after writing it down and reading it to myself, I literally sat in silence for a couple of minutes. For me, when it comes to exercising, none of the things like having muscles or beautiful body, none of that matters as much as that thing that I wrote. It helps you to isolate from all the social norms and social pressures and just have a very honest conversation with yourself. It will also help you quite a lot with cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when your actions are not aligned with your beliefs and values. So if you feel unfulfilled or you feel lost, try this exercise. It might help you a lot. I want to remind you that having a strong why is only a part of this goal achievement process. If you want to learn more about goal achievement, I do have a video on my channel about it. There I talk about 5 science-backed methods to design your goals for sustainable success. So definitely watch this video right away if you want to approach your goals more scientifically. One thing that I want to mention, this exercise is asking you a lot of big questions. And especially if you're someone very, very anxious and you've never tried mental exercising before and you're prone to negative thoughts, just be cautious that those big questions, they can scare you a lot. I want you to remember that every single person is unique and there is no one universal solution that fits everyone. Humans' brains are extremely complex, so keep experimenting until you find what resonates with you. I hope you've got something useful out of this video, and I want to remind you that you have everything you need inside you. You are capable, and I'm very, very proud of you. Thank you so much for being here. Stay curious and see you soon.